radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Good evening. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. Yeah, man. How you doing? Today is Monday, November 23rd, 2020. $328 days into the new year, only 38 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? Happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving week. Yeah, man. One of my favorite holidays. You know what? I mean, of course, right? Let's not play Christmas. All right, that's top of the heat. That's top of the heat. New Year's, great. Fantastic. Right? Halloween's right there, right? I mean, it's just right there. Memorial Day, Independence Day, and yes, I get it. Labor Day weekend. Yeah, I get all of that. Easter. Right? Yeah, Easter's. Okay, but Thanksgiving is where it's at. It really is. I get it. Christmas, okay, all right. That's top of the heap. Understandable. Get it. I really do. Thanksgiving, man. Thanksgiving week. So this week we are having shows, of course. Tonight and tomorrow night, we will be taking Wednesday night and Thursday night off. Thursday being Thanksgiving, of course. Wednesday is prep day, and that's it. It can't all be done at the same time. It just doesn't work that way. And we want to spend time with our family just like you do. And there you go. So we'll be doing replays on Wednesday night and Thursday night. If you guys are going to be too busy, you guys are going to be out there having fun, hanging out, recuperating, doing what you do. So you're not going to miss the show. But if you want to come and hang out, there'll be some cool replay that'll be there to greet you and stir your memories. It'll probably be a replay of tonight. But yeah. Oh, man, I'm just so happy to be here. And had a great weekend, too, as well. And, yeah. So let me make these announcements really quick. Tonight, of course, as you know, James Redfield is here. One of the great thinkers, futurists on this planet. Of course, author of the Celestine Prophecy and those series of books. He's here to talk about being positive in a negative world. And what a great way to start off the week. Now, and then tomorrow, and can I say this about James? You know, with all the drama that's going on, I call up James, and he answers the phone laughing. Right? He's like, Jimmy, what's up, man? Oh, wow. You know, he's like that. He's magnetic. And I can't wait to have. I said, James, stop right there, save it. That's the show, man. Right? And that's James Redfield. So what a great way to start off the week. And with all the drama that is going on, and even the drama that is around, you know, Thanksgiving. You know, oh, don't have a family celebration. You know, no. I hate to say it. I hate to go against science or the advice or whatever. You know what? Have your Thanksgiving. Friggin' have it. If somebody's got COVID, they can sit at the kids' table, right? Put them in the backyard, nice little folding table. Have them sit out there. But have your Thanksgiving, man. Just get together. I don't know about having 50 people over, but have, you know, come on, sit down with your family. So it's 10. You know, I heard somebody say, I'm not going to get into it, but this is part of the drama that we're all going through right now. And putting the drama spin onto Thanksgiving right now after the year that everybody has gone through, screw that. And to have somebody say, do you really want to sacrifice the health of your family, man, instead of sacrificing a turkey? What are you doing? You know, I thought, what? That's like bad advice. The advice should be, hey, look, okay, all right, you know what to do. You know how to protect yourself if you need to, right? That's it. You know what to do or not to do. Sit down and have your Thanksgiving dinner. Celebrate. And that's my take. And so we are going to do that this week. Dang it. We're going to take off Wednesday. We are going over to... I think Rita, I'm not even sure. We're having it at our brother-in-law's house. That's where it is. Right. Okay. Nonetheless, we're going to throw down. I'm going to post some pictures. Yep. All right. I'm in a great mood. It's Thanksgiving week. Thursday night. Tomorrow night, we are having our YouTube AMA. That's right. Ask me anything. And I saw a little controversy going down about, wait a minute, man, how come it's YouTube again? You know, what about us, Twitter? What about, look, I think we've done one AMA on YouTube. I don't remember doing two. I remember doing one with the YouTube audience, with YouTube up in front of me. Hello to everybody on YouTube. It's you tomorrow night. At YouTube up in front of me, and I remember going through that. I remember doing that once. I don't know how many Twitter AMAs. Twitter, the sandbox, everybody knows. Everybody knows. You know, they're in the Spreaker chat room. They're over on KGRA. They're on Facebook right now, and they're chatting away. I'm not over there. I'm over here in the sandbox with everybody in Twitter. You know, who gets the special treatment every single night on the show, right? So if you're on Twitter and that's where you're hanging out and you want to be part of the AMA, you know what to do. Go over to YouTube. All right? Everybody on Facebook, go over to YouTube if you want to post your questions. It's really that simple. If you're in one of the chat rooms and you want to be part of the AMA, go over to YouTube. That's all you got to do. All right? All right. And see, this is the other thing. Can I be straight with everybody for a second? Well, I'm always straight, but right now I'm going to get straighter. YouTube kind of scares me. Yeah, that's a challenge. Makes me a little bit nervous because I don't know who's on YouTube. I know pretty much everybody, in the chat rooms and Twitter, and this show's been going on for years, and I know what's happening. YouTube is so big, and you don't know who's listening, and as a platform, it's ginormous. You don't know who's coming in. You don't. You don't know where it's coming from. I don't know the personalities behind the questions, or if they're cool, if they're just trying to be funny, if they're not cool and they're not being cool. I don't know. YouTube makes me a little nervous. That's fun, and I like going into that. Just like Fader Night, unscreened. Those are unscreened calls, right? That's uncensored, man. It's just let's roll with it. That's a lot of fun, and it's edgy because I don't know what the next call is going to be, and that's a zone I enjoy going into. All right, so tomorrow night it's YouTube. It's going to be cool. So that's tomorrow night. Wednesday night we're taking off. Thursday night is Thanksgiving, and everybody. I'll say this again tomorrow night, but happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your time. All right. Let's move forward really quick. I've got a lot to talk about tonight, and I keep stressing a few things are going on right now. This Friday, there's going to be a Black Friday sale over at getthetea.com. So you're definitely going to want to visit getthetea.com for their once a year Black Friday sale that will be happening over at Get the Tea. Banners are at jimmychurchradio.com. Crystal Skulls, Carolyn Ford, jimmychurchradio.com. Click on the banners. Billy Carson, forbiddenknowledge.tv. Right there. Banners are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Of course, River Moon Coffee, the best coffee in the world. And all of our wellness products, right? And I have to say wellness because if I say other things, YouTube shuts us down. If I post it up on Facebook, Facebook shuts it down. I can't do it on Twitter. Twitter will shut us down. It's the way that it is. But our Fade to Black, River Moon Coffee, Black Moon, wink, wink, wellness products. Go and check everything out. Go to jimmychurchradio.com. Great Christmas gifts, too, as well, for you and the whole family. All right, all of that is over at jimmychurchradio.com. Hoffman's Optics and everything. Everything is over there. Okay. Now, follow me on Twitter at jchurchradio. Let's see. What did Eric is posting pictures of what he said came down in orbs in his backyard yesterday in San Luis Obispo. And he is just so happy about his new friend. So everybody can check that out. Go to hashtag F2B. Follow me on Twitter at jchurchradio. And you can see Awakening Man's new friends. So there you go. They're right there. Follow me on Twitter at jchurchradio. Any questions or comments in the show tonight? Hashtag F2BQ. That is Fade to Black. Questions, you can email Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com. Breaking news. That was a crazy news day. That was a crazy news weekend. Man. Yeah. I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to go there a little bit in a minute. But that was an insanely insane weekend of news. But I'm going to start off with this. MSNBC was forced to issue a correction over the weekend after falsely stating that Bob Dylan had died. That's right. MSNBC reported on Dylan memorabilia being sold at auction when the Progressive Network prematurely killed the famous singer. That's right. Quoting MSNBC, quote, a long-lost trove of unpublished Bob Dylan documents, including lyrics, were sold at auction for $495,000 to an anonymous buyer. The singer of many anthems of the 1960s, Dylan dying last year at the age of 79. That was MSNBC's Joshua Johnson. And he said that on Saturday. Obviously, Joshua doesn't listen to music or know anything about music. But anyway, MSNBC followed up yesterday, Sunday, with this, quote, "A quick correction. Some of you online have already caught it. In our headlines, we mentioned a trove of Bob Dylan's documents being released. We accidentally said that he died last year. Bob Dylan is very much alive. He turned 79. Sorry about that." End quote. That's kind of rare. Major media outlet, fake news, and then correcting their fake news. Nicely done. Anyway, the first lunar sample return mission since the 1970s is now underway. China's robotic Shangzhou 5. I think I'm saying that right. Shangzhou. Renee right now is sending me an email. Jimmy, say it like this, and she'll send me pronounce.com, and it'll come in how to say the word, and she's typing and sending right now. Shangzhou. Mission launched today from Wenchang. Renee, I kid. Space Launch Center in Hainan Province, rising into the sky on top of a Long March 5 rocket at about 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 a.m. on November 24th, local time in Hainan. That's right, time travel. If all goes according to plan, the you ready? Shangzhou 5 will bring pristine moon samples back to Earth in mid-December, something that hasn't been done since the Soviet Union's Lunar 24 mission way back in 1976. All right, there's going to be 5 asteroids in 2 days cruising past our planet, with the 2,700-foot space rock following in 5 days. 2,000 WO-107, estimated to measure up to a half of a kilometer in diameter, or roughly the height of Dubai's Burj Tower, the tallest building in the world, will be doing its flyby at 5:09 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, November 29th, traveling at a whopping 65,000 miles per hour. Now, for reference, the average bullet travels at around 1,800 miles per hour. This thing is humming along. It's not going to be visible to most Earthlings, by the way, as it is set for what NASA deems as a close flyby at about 2.7 million miles. Tonight, after the show, 3 space rocks are going to cruise by. That is 2020 WN. That's about 9.5 meters in diameter. There's 2020 VW2. That's 14 meters in diameter. And 2020 WC. That's 10 meters in diameter. All are going to shoot past Earth. The first at 1.6 million kilometers, the second 7 million kilometers, and the last and follow-up will be at 1.6 million kilometers. There you go. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, the way it is. Bruce Hornsby is 66. And I'm going to say, you love that song. That's it. I know you do. All right. Guilty pleasure. On this day in history, OTD 1981, President Ronald Reagan signs off on a top secret document called the National Security Decision Directive number 17, NSDD 17, which gives the Central Intelligence Agency the power to recruit and support 500 men for the Nicaraguan rebels. That's right. A budget of $19 million was established for that purpose. Fate or fact? Rob Bauer. I'm not making this up, by the way. Rob Bauer grafted tomato shoots onto tobacco roots back in 2003. Rob was the first to create Tamaco, the addictive tomato-tobacco hybrid conceived by The Simpsons in 1999. Now, the leaves had nicotine. You could smoke it. The tomatoes did not. And that is your Fate or Fact. Tonight, James Redfield is here Tomorrow night is our YouTube AMA. Wednesday and Thursday, we're taking off for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And no fader night this week, just James Redfield and a good old-fashioned AMA. All right, let me hit this River Moon coffee. The best. Yeah. rivermooncoffee.com. Now, I left the house this weekend. That's right. I actually got in the car and hit the road. I drove 40 miles to Long Beach, California for a luncheon meeting for the Conscious Life Expo. Now, nothing to report on the expo. No, all the news about it will be brought out over the next 2 or 3 weeks, but it was the drive and getting out and into civilization that I want to talk about. You see, the drive down to Long Beach, I was listening to talk radio. That's what I do. And all of the conversations going on were about the recent curfew and the new COVID regulations that were dropping in and around Los Angeles. That's right. No eating inside and outside of restaurants and bars and all of that. That's all going on. But all of the bad news filling my ears did not take away from my great mood. No, did not. You see, I had an open highway. No traffic. Sunglasses. Cool shirt. Nice watch. Nice car. Right? Bright blue skies. Full tank of gas. And a general change of mood that has been going on, not only on and around social media, but in the media in general. Now, we all need to be realistic here. All right? There has been some fear sown into the minds of Americans that our democracy, its elections, and the Constitution are all about to be thrown out the window. Freaking people out. But with all of the breaking developments over the weekend, most of the U.S. started to breathe a little easier now that the stress over the very fabric that our country is based on will not be torn apart. Next, the crazy fear about the pandemic, right? All of that got some great news because there are some vaccines. Now, hold your horses. I'm not going to take any vaccine voluntarily. I'm not going to do that, and I'm not all for any of that stuff. But all of that should remain a personal choice. But the news, it's the news. The news of various vaccines helps stem the fears that many have. And that I dig. And do you remember this, right? Listen to me. You don't have to take it. I'm not going to take it. Okay? But hundreds of millions will in this country alone. And it will help stop the spread. I don't doubt that. And if you don't get coronavirus, well, it may be because somebody took the vaccine in your community, right? In your workplace, at school, or in your family. So there's that. Now, I thought about all of this during my drive yesterday. And as I pulled into Long Beach and arrived at my destination, I found myself parked directly in front of a Starbucks that was located on the ground floor of the building I was visiting. I had a few minutes to spare, so I walked in to order a grande black eye. As I opened the door, I noticed that there were, and wait for it, there were no customers. None. Zero. In a Starbucks. So I yelled out from the doorway. I'm like, hey, are you guys open? And from behind the counter, this barista looked up and yelled from under her face mask, "We sure are. Come on in." Waved me in. I'm like, man, alone in a Starbucks. Couldn't believe it. I've never seen an empty Starbucks during normal hours of operation in my life. This had to be some sort of record, but anyway. I ordered my grande black eye, and she said, that's a black eye, right? Not a red eye. You want 2 ad shots, right? I said, yes. And then I said, I don't have any cash. I was looking for cash. I said, I don't have any cash. Can I tip on the credit card? She says, she's laughing. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. I replied with, it's a little empty in here. I wish I could tip something. And her reply was pretty cool. She said, hey, I'm in a great mood. Things are starting to turn around. I can feel it. I said, excuse me? And she handed me my coffee. And she repeated, I can feel it. Things are starting to turn around. Have a great day. I was like, wow. Now I know that there are many out there who oppose the coronavirus vaccine. I get that. But there are a vast amount of people in this country and throughout the world who want it and are waiting for it. They need a bright ray of hope in their lives. This is reality. It's the same thing with the dark cloud of the election. Yeah, there are a lot of people out there who want to have it overturned, and I get that too. But the vast majority of everyone in this country and also around the world want it over. They want to move on. They don't want to care about fraud or conspiracies. They don't. They are worried about their families and what the future holds. That's what they care about. I don't have time for this anymore. This is also reality. Right? There has been an opening of a pressure release valve. Something we have not felt in 8 or 9 months. Something was about to burst. We knew that. And we got close to it on so many levels. But I think for the first time in a long time, people are starting to feel and see some relief on their nervous system. This is also reality. That happy and chipper barista that didn't get any tips at Starbucks says it all. Life is good, and it's getting better. Seriously. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black tonight, right here. James Redfield. How to be positive in a negative world. Oh, man, I cannot wait for this conversation. So you stay right there. I am your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Simple enough. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com and the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back with James Redfield. Stay right there.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on jimmychurchradio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. Introducing the Game Changer blend from River Moon Coffee that delivers a customized blend made specifically for the Fadernauts. If the game is rigged, change the game. It's a bolder cup with some bite. Game Changer is the coffee of choice for those that prefer an organic dark roast that is slightly lighter and milder, but it's still dark. With wild notes of pecans and chocolate with a rich, balanced, full-bodied cup that is roasted to perfection for a great coffee to start your day, as an after-dinner coffee or anywhere in between. Artisan, small batch roasted to perfection. USDA certified organic, all River Moon coffee is freshly roasted and packaged in the USA. Just go to rivermooncoffee.com or click on the banners over on our site and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. rivermooncoffee.com. Go Beckley Teppy.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRAradio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, folks. It's troubling times, and fear is pushing emotions, which in turn pushes health the wrong direction. Do you ever get an ache because life is uneasy? Try Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. Life Change Tea works on your digestive tract, helping to move food through quicker and comfortably so your health is spot on. Life Change Tea may not help with world issues, but it will help with your digestive issues. A glass a day helps keep the intruders away. So, change your life today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. If your health game is off, get on by ordering Life Change Tea. Getthetea.com. And while you're on our site, look around at the great non-GMO organic supplements. And if you're a sales shopper, go to our specials page and see what's for you. I've been drinking the tea for 12 years, and I'm sure glad for its health benefits. Again, that's getthetea.com. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
Permanent industrial glue impossible to remove? Not anymore, because Handyman Formula by D-Bond is a patented chemical adhesive remover. It's used in the building and home maintenance industry, but now it's available for your home use, for your DIY projects. Unglue stickers, silicone rubber, labels, price tags, flex tape, weather stripping, carpet glue, wood glue, liquid nails, even 3M 5200. And it dissolves graffiti. Yeah, graffiti. Handyman Formula by D-Bond works, and it's safe to use on most surfaces. No need to call a professional. Don't get out the pliers and blowtorch. Just apply a little Handyman Formula by D-Bond and wait 90 seconds, then quickly and easily pull the items apart. Get unstuck. Visit dbondhandymanformula.com. That's dbondhandymanformula.com or call 561-575-4200. Handyman Formula by D-Bond.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, James Redfield. Tomorrow night, that's right, an AMA. Ask me anything. What's the worst that can happen? That's tomorrow night. Wednesday and Thursday, we're taking nights off. Well-deserved, and, of course, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. We're going to spend time with family and get rested up and get ready for next week. Tonight is James Redfield, and we're going to talk about everything that we can do with family, the self, and your world to help us all move into a bright and positive future. James, of course, is the author of The Celestine Prophecy, a book that remained on the New York Times bestseller list for 165 weeks, sold over 5 million copies, and has been translated into 34 languages. While majoring in sociology at Auburn University, he studied Eastern philosophies, including Taoism and Zen. He later received a master's degree in counseling and spent more than 15 years as a therapist with abused adolescents. But then in 1989, he quit his job as a therapist to write full-time. In October 1997, Redfield was awarded the Medal of the Presidency of the Italian Senate. In the spring of 2000, Redfield received the Humanitarian of the Year honors
from Auburn University. 2 months later, he was honored by the International New Thought Alliance with another Humanitarian of the Year award. In March 2004, he was honored by the Wisdom Media Group for the Worldview Award for engaging the discussion on the nature of human existence and for his ongoing efforts and contributions to the bettering of humanity. His website, of course, is CelestineVision.com. I would like to welcome back to Fade to Black, the one and only, our good friend, James Redfield. James, good evening, man.
Thank you.
See, there's the laugh.
Thank you, Jimmy.
There's the laugh,
Jimmy,
everybody.
Who did all that? You know, that's interesting when you look back on it, right? But it's still just day to day, and we've got a wild world to contend with right now. Huh?
Yeah, there's no question about it. And here's the thing, James, in all seriousness, right? Let's put our serious hats on for a second. A year ago, right, you and I were laughing, having a great time, hanging out here in Los Angeles, and that was just 2 weeks before California got shut down. And that happened in mid-March. Crazy what this world has gone through since the last time you and I hang out, which was right at the front of the madness. What a crazy year, right?
Yeah. We get arrested for hanging out the way we were doing it last year. But you know, it's something that people everywhere, I think, they have differing opinions about what works, what should work, how much slack to give politicians. But I think the main thing is to come to a personal peace about how the world has changed. And I believe I see that. I believe people are going in a direction of more soul searching, looking for a bright avenue out of where they are. And it's a shutdown economy virtually, but there are ways to be creative, and I think that's what I think. It's a reset for sure. It's not a political reset in my view, but it's it has to be a kind of contemplative or at least spiritual reset.
Yeah,
I'm optimistic that most people can find their peace here.
Yeah, and we've got a long conversation in front of us. So let me say this at the beginning of the conversation. Your phone, hold it still. I think you're moving it around a bit. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say. Just calm down, James. I know you're excited. And see, the thing is this. With everything that you have achieved, not only with the books, but the recognition, and people do listen to you, right? And everything that has gone on in the past. What are you doing speaking to a humble guy like me on this show? And what I mean by that is it's important. People do need to hear from you, and do you feel that pressure? Right? Is it a pressure that is tangible?
No, not really. I'm on the radio maybe 3 or 4 times a week. I enjoy it. And I just think it's a very important time. And what I try to do is make an argument that there is a spiritual reset going on. And that means tapping into one's personal spiritual experience. And, I think we've all sort of taken a step back from religion of all kinds. Mm-hmm. But what we're stepping toward, I think, is a personal kind of spiritual connection. And that's a kind of centering. It's a kind of awareness of synchronicity. There's an argument for contemplation, meditation. There's all these experiences that I argue all the time that prove there's just a dimension of life that's spiritual that we can connect with. And out of that comes our greatest creativity.
Did you ever envision, because I remember a year ago when you and I were talking, pre-COVID, It had just started, but we were talking about the madness of the world that was going on then, right? and we now have the opportunity to look back at the craziness as the good old days, as crazy as it was, right? And that is something that I think we now can appreciate a bit more in looking to the future, right? For everybody to know that this is an opportunity. If we're going to do it, reset is a way to put it. I call it a paradigm shift or a new way of and correcting the things that you knew may have been wrong. That's not a bad view of life, is it?
No, I think that's where it all starts. You know, how do we want to change our lives? How do we want what do we want? You know, it's the first question, right? Where are we? A lot of people are just mired in their problems. You know, with the economy crashed like this, what happens is that, you know, suddenly the economic life is front and center. You know, how do I pay the bills? What do I, what do I say to my friends who can't pay their bills? You know, how do we help each other? And, you know, asking questions is what it's about. If you get the correct question right, and you really are open to a kind of, helping hand that's ingrained in this world. And again, we can talk about how to prove that to yourself, but it's there. And when that connection's made, then we can get creative. And if the question's right, you know, if the problem is money, then say it. Really affirm that problem can be resolved, and then wait for a synchronicity, what Carl Jung called a mysterious coincidence. You know, that's all of history, certainly every biography, is full of these mysterious coincidences that allowed people to make a step, solve a problem, move into a better job and creative experience. You know, it's slowing down, and now we've been forced to slow down and really start to look at life with a kind of zone, you know, where we're alert and looking for these opportunities that mysteriously come our way. And that's the spiritual connection. You know, you can.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Well, I was just saying, you know, the serene moments out in the wilderness, you know, are helpful, but where the action is right at the middle of your life story, and trying to catch some kind of destined space for yourself, especially in times like these. You know, it's you have to tune into that intuitive intelligence, you know, to give, you know, and become aware of what comes to you. And that's, you know, that takes some discipline, but it's part of this whole nexus of spirituality. It's not about belief or not, right? Nobody knows what this amorphous kind of force is that has always been called God, and, you know, but what we can tune into is the evidence that there's some kind of transcendent life that we can find, that we can get in a kind of zone of higher creativity. And you and I have talked about this before. You know, it's a karmic design that we're stepping into, and if we don't give as much as we expect to get, then we're slowing our own level of creativity down, because it's all about how much you give, what you're trying to do for a helping hand to others and to evolve the world, that sort of thing. And anyway, the reason this sounds esoteric at all is that we're so we've been ingrained to have this materialistic outlook. We're nothing is, it's a dead universe, and we find ourselves in it. We have to force our way through it and make a living by our grit and our wits. That's what science has concluded. But we can prove to ourselves that there's something more than that. Life is not just an accident. And so in these times, maybe it sounds even more idealistic, but this is exactly the time, in my view, when we have to make that connection.
We've never had an opportunity for a timeout, right? In that, like pollution or the environment, it's always been party, party, party. Build, build, build. We'll worry about everything later. And this great reset, this thing that happened with the pandemic, less plane flights, no ocean liners, suddenly pollution dropped, right? You can see Los Angeles for the first time in 40 or 50 years, right? And all it took, it seemed like an impossible thing, but we showed ourselves that things can effectively be changed. And with this, and as harsh as it may be, everybody on this planet is now affected, not only with the pandemic, but it is the economy, right? And it is divisiveness. That everybody, every country, right? Everybody's affected. This is an opportunity to show empathy and realize that it's not just a country in Africa that is messed up. Or this isn't something in Europe. This isn't something in Asia. Or it's something only inside of the United States. It's everybody. And together, we have the opportunity for the first time for change, right?
I think so. We certainly, had our distractions taken away from us. We're sitting around looking at the wall, thinking about our lives. And that's really the place where, this higher connection and creativity starts. But it also is about community, rebuilding a different kind of community, I think. Because, people helping people was very abstract, a year ago or 2 years ago. So we, it was all just, as you say, go for the gusto and have as much fun as you can and get the bills paid, and that wasn't so hard. But now, it's all come crashing down, and it's just something. I believe the reset really starts with each of us, just thinking, okay, what can I do to help the situation? We're forbidden to talk to our neighbors, but we can get close. We can get 6 feet anyway, and try to reach out across even these barriers. And they seem artificial, but it's still, everybody can be safe and they can still enjoy a conversation. And I think that's, and out of that, ideas form and synchronicities happen, and we get our lives in a trajectory that is meaningful.
I wanted to ask you something that maybe I don't think it's out there. I don't think it's too far out, but it's this, and I think it has to do with consciousness, our DNA, and spirituality, in that from the moment that we are born, from that moment, we look at our mother's face. And we know who our mom is, of course, but we understand what a face is and the expressions and the direct connection that we get from that, from looking at anybody's face throughout life and your lifetime. It's what we do, right? That has been taken away from us. right? The face mask, the connection with other humans has been removed. Do you think that's messing with people's emotions and the way that they think and communicate?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, there's, you got no media coverage of it, but there's 1,000 psychotherapists that are trying to get the word out that this is the most the suffocating of human culture, anything that humans have ever done, because we talk to the expression on the other person's face.
That's right.
And now we can't.
We can't do it.
And the worst. The worst is in school. Kids talk to the expression on the teacher's face, but now you've got them all masked up. And so it's, just forget about all the science that says all that does no good, that it's something some bureaucrat is getting the news media to really push for their own reasons. But scientists, the real science about it is that it's suffocating and maybe even dangerously harmful, especially to children.
I totally agree with that. It's yanking at our DNA, right? Our brain is absolutely connected and programmed to run a certain way, and we are forcing it, right, in another direction, and it can't be healthy. I don't like it. And if I'm being
nobody likes it.
Right.
And the part of the reset is learning that we really can't trust politicians the way we want to, because the sort of consortium of what would you just call it? Just call it the crime out there is such, and greed and power, and a lot of people, using, multi corporations using health as a way to make money and make more and more money. You just have to, and without getting political, I think, everybody has to take a look at this and say, is this right? Or is this the biggest con that's ever been put on the world, that we have to shut down everybody's income to deal with this virus and forget where it came from? Just it's a virus. But to shut down economies over it, and I saw the statistics of how many, the numbers of people that lost everything are in the tens of millions just in the United States.
Yes,
lost everything they'd put in a business, for instance, or lost income in a way that it's debilitating. That never can get those investments back, and so everybody has to decide how much that we're gonna put up with, because otherwise, we're just gonna have these things happening a long time, and forget the fact that the tests are not accurate, and that somehow during this whole scare about COVID-19, the flu has gone away because it's all counted as COVID-19. And, there's a lot of psychological factors and the fear that makes people go along with something that's never been done in history, ever.
Yeah, I want. Yeah, you're right about that. And I brought that up a couple of weeks ago on the show. I said, "Hey, wait a minute. What happened to the flu? Right? What happened? Did the flu just decide to take a year off? What happened to the flu. Now, we're going to take a break right here, but this is the other thing. When I don't trust any politician. Okay, so before anybody says it's a red thing or it's a blue thing or I'm red or I'm blue or whatever, no, I just don't. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But I thought that the government was here to make sure that my roads were paved out in front of my house, right? That our country was safe and we had infrastructure, and that it would allow me to have the freedoms of life, right? That's it. I don't like what I see now, and I just don't trust any of it. I don't. I have a weird thing inside of me, and what is going on right now from all directions is why it's proof to me that my feelings are justified.
Well, I'm with you there. And I think, the zeitgeist is feeling exactly that at this moment. So I think our challenge is not to go into doubting everything, right?
Right.
There's a dark side out there taking advantage of us, that's for sure. But, if we spend our time hating that, then what we do is join the dark side. So we've got to deal with this in a way that engenders, this love connection with everybody. Because otherwise we just join, the Star Wars trilogy and, that mythology that was created with Star Wars. That's right. You've got to be able to fight and talk and exchange and improve the world, without going to the dark side. You have to do it in a positive way. And I think if that can be the reset, then I think all this would be worth it.
Let's take our break right here. Our guest tonight, James Redfield. I do want to remind everybody that tomorrow night is our YouTube AMA, Ask Me Anything. And then we are taking Wednesday and Thursday night off for Thanksgiving, spend it with family. And I suggest you do the same. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. More with James Redfield right after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I'm a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
Listen, I know, and you know, that you've always wanted your first crystal skull. Or maybe you're a collector just like me, but you just don't know where to go to find the real thing. Then I met Carolyn Ford over at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. Carolyn is the guardian of Einstein, one of the most respected ancient crystal skulls in the world. All of her unique skulls have been imprinted sitting with Einstein in his sacred lodge and are carved from the finest gemstone and materials. Imprinting is the process of receiving the ancient wisdom from the master skull or master computer, Einstein the Ancient Crystal Skull. To see Carolyn's current collection of crystal skulls, just visit her store at EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com or click on the banner over on our site. Don't forget to use the promo code Jimmy at checkout to receive 10% off of your order today. That's promo code Jimmy. Finding your first or next crystal skull is easy. Just visit EinsteinTheCrystalSkull.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of fade to black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And this is Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We are also Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hello, this is Serena Wright Taylor from Conscious Life Expo, and you're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, who holds the Lucky Pony record for the best astrological chart since 1963. True story.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, James Redfield is here talking about how to get things positive in the negative world that we find ourselves in today. And James, one of Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada did this release last week and spoke, and this video went around. And he mentioned the reset, right? And immediately the internet grabbed hold of this and said, oh, this is the New World Order, right? This is it. This is what they're going to be doing. This is what he's talking about. Your definition of reset, which we are talking about tonight, is what?
Well, I would call it a spiritual reset. Or you could say a reset in consciousness. And all that really means is reaching out for our highest human potential. There's been 100-year study and exploration of human potential, and it's really paying off right now, in my view. So when I say spiritual reset, I don't mean a church, although people find that exact reset there. But it's more than that. It's a personal spiritual reset. And I said it first before he did.
Right.
So mine takes precedent. And I think that, when people, search their intuitive, intelligent banks, I think we know that there's a transcendent space we can live in. And just the ordinary world, where you have as much fun as you can, then you say, "Oh my goodness, life is over. What did I do with it?" We can't stay that unconscious anymore. There's a breakthrough point everybody is ready to make. I think there's a confluence of factors in the universe right now. The human potential movement, scholarship, and that whole conversation is reaching a consensus about the real experience of spirituality and what that feels like and how it can be proved to oneself. And then you can have these 3 generations. If just for a moment we thought that this worldwide shutdown was planned. Now, I'm not saying it is, because I don't know. I don't think that's the most important thing to think about. It's happened. But if it was it because we had 3 vulnerable generations in play right now? Because, you've got baby boomers that are reaching higher age, let's put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
and, wanting to extend their life as long as possible from this point of view, don't want to take many chances, but they also, of course, do want to make a contribution to the world. But you also have millennials who are only, 38 to 40. And that's really the largest one group on the planet now. But they're still young enough to be what you might call gullible. And then you have the older children of millennials who are facing how to be on their own, to work, to go out, get out of the house, to go work, to go to college, or whatever they're doing. They're going, "Oh my God, this is, how do I do this?" And especially in this world. So you've got some vulnerability, I just don't think this would have ever worked 20 years ago. Nobody would have put up with it. But somehow we're all putting up with it. And if it's real, and if it's worth staying safe to test that out. But to shut down the economy is as you said, is crazy. But the thing about it that's positive is that all 3 of these generations that make up the human race right now are asking the higher questions. And that is, how do I maximize my life? How do I extend my life? How do I find a sense of fulfillment in life? That's not where I'm not cynical. And that asking, the scriptures from every religious tradition on the planet through all of history says, if you ask the right question, you find a transcendent kind of space and a transcendent answer for your life. And I believe that regardless of whether this was contrived for whatever reasons, I believe that we can make lemonade out of it. We can find a silver lining in that. This spiritual reset can happen one person after another, having greater experiences. And again, the human potential movement has, in my view, scholarly, all the mystics have had their say, but this is this whole 100 years of the human potential movement, starting when Dr. Carl Jung separated from the materialistic human psychology of Freud. So Carl Jung, who coined the term synchronicity, this mysterious hidden help that we get in life, he started to look at that, and it's been 100 years of clarification of what our true experience and true human potential is from this higher consciousness point of view. We're set up, I believe, to have a real, what I would call, consciousness reset or spiritual reset, as would prefer. But I'm optimistic that we can have a breakthrough and get past this.
Were you surprised to see the flare-ups and the anger and the protests that went on not only across the United States, and here in the United States, we look at this as being an American issue? Like these protests are happening in just about every major city in every country around the world for their own reasons. You know, this flare-up and this anger is happening all around the world for a variety of reasons. They're not protesting around the world because of George Floyd, right? They're protesting and in the streets for their own reasons, but it's all happening at the same time, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, some people, that's the way they express their frustration with it all, I think. And I've been there, you know, we've all been there. I just think that, you know, there's so many people blowing on the fire, you know, and it's hard to tell what's spontaneous and what's being paid for by someone. And, you know, you just, you know, as we look beyond, I mean, the more consciousness you have, the more discernment you have and more intuitive discretion you have, where you know, one of the things that's going up in consciousness because of all the meditation in the world. There's never been more meditation in the world than right now.
That's right.
And that is a perception where you can tell when people are lying to you or not, right? Because your consciousness is such that you know the energy level of a lie and you know the energy level of a truth. And so we listen to the news, regardless of which one you watch, and you just think, you know, that's a bunch of lies.
That's where discernment comes in. I think right there.
That's right.
It's the first level of discernment, right? Squinty eyes.
That's right. So, you know, now we know that there's so many manipulations going on, right? And again, you know, you can't find their house and burn it down. You know, that's not a solution. That's that creates more fear and less understanding, you know. So what has to happen is that we just be honest ourselves with the individuals we cross paths with, you know, and because, you know, there's something is happening so that it's always, the change always comes, you know, in grassroots ways, you know, right at ground level where people start to talk to each other and they say, well, you know, that's a lie and that, you know, this is a lie, and, you know, what do we do about it? And I think what we do about it is tell the truth without hatred. You know, again, as soon as you go in kind of hating anger, you just join the chaos. That's going to the dark side. So I like to talk about timelines, and that's fairly esoteric, but, you know, timelines are, you know, what you want your history to be, what you want the history of your culture to be, you know, and I think what we, you know, if we hold a certain timeline, that's a big power that creates the kind of history that we want. And what that would be right now is that, you know, all the forces, you know, stop listening to the news. If anything smacks as a, you know, a lie or distortion or, you know, and yeah, the more you research newscasters, the more they're, you know, you see they're sponsored by someone. And so it's all, you know, the corruption of money is there, and that's something. And I believe that this moment, this 2020, is a watershed kind of explosion of corruption because so many forces can't remember how to cover it up anymore, or they think their group has won, so they don't try to manipulate like they did 10 years ago. What's happening is it's all being exposed, and from questionable elections to to pharmaceutical motivations, the vaccines, a lot of people trust where they come from. But once you realize that pharmaceutical companies have been given total immunity, where they not only can they not be sued because of the damage that they do, that's covered up, but they don't have to. They don't know. Nobody looks into what's actually in these vaccines. Nobody, because it's against the law. It's proprietary. So they just get to make these things, and nobody knows what's in it. Nobody.
This is
once you know that,
yeah.
Once you know that, you get skeptical.
Yeah, and this is what I said in my opening statement about that. Vaccines. Okay, look, it's actually very simple. The reality part. There is a large chunk of people that are anti-vaccine. That's fine. There are the rest of the world, and the majority of the planet could give a rat's ass. They want the vaccine, right? They want it here, and they want it because they want some semblance of order for the future so they can start making plans, right? The vaccine's going to show up and everything. I can count on that, and we can start to move forward. That's the rest of the planet. It's the reality. It's the illusion of the vaccine, right? And is that a pressure valve being released, right? Is that releasing some of the anxiety that people are feeling right now? Whether you're pro-vaccine or not, right? You understand what I'm saying? The illusion of it will allow people to relax. And that's a weird position to be in. And I'm watching the ebb and flow with this.
Yeah, I think everybody's cheering the vaccines, but secretly, making sure they're not going to take it.
No, that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah, bring it on. But let's get back to normal is what people want.
That's what they want. That's what they
want.
Yeah. Now, what about, you were talking about control, and this is the weird thing for the vaccines. Now, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it voluntarily. I'll say that. But I may be in Qantas just made this announcement about if you're going to fly on Qantas, you need to show proof of a vaccination, right? You got to show that you've been poked. And if I need to travel to the UK, right? If I've got to go to Europe, if I've got to go to Australia, and I can't travel internationally unless I have a vaccine, now the control factor comes in, right? And you had just mentioned that. Now I'm in a weird position. I don't want to take it, but if I need to go and work and I need to get on that plane, I don't have a choice. And that's a weird type of control. And I understand the other part of it. And before you answer that, which is this, so many countries, if the coronavirus crossed their borders, may have done it from international flights, right? And that's the way that they are going to look at it. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, but for them and for their country, the people there need to know, hey, if you're coming in, you got vaccinated. If you're visiting us, you're not bringing something here. And this element of control, James, is now out there for everybody. It may be voluntary, but if you want to get on a plane, it is not. Is that our future?
Well, that's right out of Revelation, right? That's the apocalypse upon us, right? That's you have to do this and this, or you can't enjoy the economy. if you don't get the chip in the hand, where they can tell what vaccines you've had, then, you don't get to play. Again, it's this, where do you get this affirmative of truth, this affirmation of truth in your own mind and what you want to do and the vision you have of the future? Because one future, and anybody who is questioning vaccines should look up Robert Kennedy Jr.'s take on vaccines. He's been interviewed everywhere. He talks about the damage that's been done, that's covered up. It's out in the open now that controlling Big Brother is all set to set up restrictions on whether you can enjoy the economy based on whether you take the drugs they want you to take. And that's not all. You have to also agree not to say certain elements of free speech. They're ready to go with the hate speech, which means anything that doesn't that's contrary to the corporate reality we hear on the daily news. Now, this is, you got to, when we talk spirituality and freedom, you have to have freedom to have spiritual consciousness and to live it. And what a lot of people want is to control more and more people because they're that insecure and they have to have more money and more power, or they just feel like they're fading away. And that's a psychological fact.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're dealing with, a whole lot of intricate connections of control out there, but they're never, this bug may go away with the vaccines, but what about the next bug and those vaccines that we'll have to take? I would just encourage people to look at Epic News is a real counter news organization, EPOCH, and they did a documentary on the genesis of this particular virus from Wuhan. Just looking at the public, medical papers and speeches that were given. Well, they were in the business of designing these bugs, and they were also trying to create or hypothetically create vaccines in advance for such bugs, just in case they happen to evolve in nature. But they were doing the vaccines in advance for all these bugs, and that organization concluded that there's a whole stream of new bugs coming in that will have to take the vaccines, whether they work or not, from the patents that people already hold. And I'm not even going to say who holds the majority of the patents for those vaccines.
Right, and this is
everybody could guess.
Well, this is the thing.
Yes, who holds these vaccine patents?
Well, here's the trippy part. You just mentioned, this is Armageddon, right? This was written in Scripture, and the other part that I almost said was, well, it's also Orwellian, right? This is a 1984 thing, and just you and I speaking about this right now, digitally. There are automation systems out there looking for keywords that are spoken so they can turn around and shut communication down. And they have done that effectively with so many others out there. I have had to have been very careful about how I speak about this because I don't want this show in danger, right? But that is the controlling of the narrative, right? Right there. And it's not about free speech or censorship, or it's not even about that. It's about trying to ask questions, right? You and I are just talking, right? We're just talking. We're not on some kind of crazy platform and conspiracy theories. We're just having a conversation. But the man and the automation systems don't know that, right? And it's crazy that people have to think about this in advance today, right? This whole 1984 Orwellian thing.
That's right. But, the timeline that I want to be on as we discuss this is that timeline where this is all being exposed. Every time social media puts another algorithm in to suppress free speech, then, what happens is that more and more people find out about it, and more people get upset about that, no matter whether, where their politics are, that because everybody knows that they may be, they're screening this other group and keeping them from having free speech, and it's not our group, but if they can suppress that group, they can turn around and suppress everyone, right? So I think that's the awakening that's happening, and I see that as the timeline where it all gets exposed. I mean, the degree of corruption just in the last year that's been exposed is beyond belief, right? I mean, like we were talking about, just in a year, how the world has changed, and how all the routines of freely living our lives have been restricted.
Well, and the question is this: that I got to head to a break, and the whole question that is out there for everybody, and we'll start to talk about this when we come back after the break, is how to get your world positive again in this world of negativity. And that's what we're going to talk about when we come back. Our guest tonight is James Redfield, of course, author of the Celestine Prophecy and the series of books. And this is so important to me. And right now, this is Thanksgiving week. What can we do? We'll talk about all of that next. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. More of James after this short break. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Old New England Soap is committed to producing the highest quality organic and goat milk soaps available anywhere. We take pride in using the purest ingredients and avoiding the typical shortcuts used by other soap makers. Because goat milk is what feeds your skin, we have formulated our soap to use the maximum amount of goat milk possible, 38%, more than double any other brand. Not because it's easy, but because our soap is always better. We are proud to offer you what we consider to be truly premium quality handmade soaps. What's more, our soap does not contain GMO ingredients, pesticides, sulfates, dyes, artificial colors, alcohol, or petroleum products. Try our new shampoo bar and pooch soap, and be sure to see all of the great scented woodwick soy candles that burn soot-free for up to 100 hours. Right now, save 15% on your order and get free shipping on orders over $45. Buy now at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. Not available in stores. oldnesoap.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
Telepath is a weekly digital newsletter filled with the latest paranormal news, trending topics, and fresh articles from some of the most popular critical thinkers in the community today. Stay informed on your favorite paranormal podcasts and live streaming talk shows. Interact with the Telepath and upload your paranormal story or pics. It could be featured in an upcoming edition. Sign up right now for the free Telepath newsletter at paranormal.radio. That's paranormal.radio.
Including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. I want to remind everybody that last year, websites shared over 100 trillion pieces of personal data. This is data taken on users of various websites, like the one that you are on right now when you are listening to me. You need to think about that. I don't like being spied on by advertisers, which is why I use Virtual Shield. Now, it's very simple. If you want to browse the internet anonymously and securely, like I do, look at all these computers that I have here in the studio, right here, all Virtual Shield VPN. I want you to visit virtualshield.com/fade to black. All right, it's that simple. The banners and advertising are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Click right there, or you can click on the link in the description box below. Right now, if you're watching me on video, it's right there, and you can enjoy Virtual Shield VPN for free today. Click on the link below. Our guest tonight, the one and only James Redfield. And James, I spoke about yesterday. I was down in Long Beach, and I walked into a Starbucks. It's empty. Starbucks is empty. I've never seen an empty Starbucks in my life. I'm the only customer in there. And I'm talking to the barista, who was bubbly, happy, cheery. And I was like, hey, what's going on? She actually said to me from behind her face mask, by the way, she goes, I feel great. Things are changing finally, right? I feel like we are headed to a better place. And to hear that from her, I'm thinking, man, I want whatever you're taking. Right? you are definitely in a positive mood, but I think she's an example of what we can do, right? That you need to have a positive attitude, and she was glowing. What are the steps that we can take to get to that positive attitude?
Well, I think if you want to really heal your emotions, there's nothing better than meditation, alone time, trying to let go of the thoughts, all the thinking, and also, the negative emotions. You just let them go, and you practice doing that. And the more you practice, what happens is that your quiet time of no thought and no problem emotions coming up grows and grows. And, there's more people, again, that are meditating in the world than ever before, but there's so many people who aren't, and I think it's, contemplation time. It doesn't have to be sitting cross-legged in the corner. You can take a walk, keep your eyes open, but still just try to let go for at least 20 minutes of all the thoughts, everything. And what happens is that in that quietness, you begin to hear your intuitive intelligence. And that's the proof that there's a kind of helping hand. Mysterious coincidences can start to happen. You get intuitions of calling that old friend. And when you do, they say, "Oh, I was just thinking about you," and the mystery can unfold from there. And what comes with that is what in the scriptures across almost every religious tradition say that we can connect with this transcendent place where we that is a peace beyond all understanding. And out of that can come a kind of positive energy that we can give to others. And I think that's a missing element in human culture, but it can blossom now because of the levels of consciousness that are out there already. And once you learn to give energy to another person, trying to find the peace in the other person's face, and just intend to give them energy, you fill up first, right? So if you got a problem emotion, do the contemplations and letting go, but also try to find love, space in yourself, intend to have that as your primary emotion and then give it away. It keeps you up. I call it inspiration energy because it always blossoms into something that each of us can do in our community, in our larger family, that is helpful any one day. You can do it all with all your clients if you're still working. You can do it in your, wherever you are, in your space, in your community. And again, lastly, community building is important. I kind of believe, of course, I'm in Florida, but I do travel to lockdown states. But I think across the whole realm that I see, people are just, thinking so many businesses have to have the mask when the real science says 6 feet of distance is really what's important. And I think that, when you hear those voices, you can start to wear the mask, at discretionary times. And, what I'm hearing is that sheriffs all over, many in California and other states are just outright saying, if you want to rat out your neighbor because they're not wearing a mask out in their own yard, then, don't call us because we have too many other things to do. We're not going to enforce this. And what I see is a kind of, I hope on my timeline, it's a loving rebellion for what is clearly unconstitutional acts from mayors and from governors. And as soon as the judiciary gets back in their seats, they'll start ruling it exactly that way. It'll be a world of lawsuits going everywhere. And But, what will happen is it will start to feel freer and freer again.
Yeah, I see that. And I wanted to ask you about meditation for a second. Let's stay right there.
Okay.
I think that so many people, when they hear meditation, they think that you have to sit and listen to dolphin music or Indian sitars, right? And burn some incense and go through this regulated form of meditation, right? Otherwise, it's incorrect, and it's not real meditation. Meditation can come in many different forms, right? It's just a matter of disconnecting yourself from everything else and looking inside introspectively, and you're not engaging the mind, right? You don't need Indian sitar music and dolphins.
No, unless you like those.
Right.
Actually, I think quietness in nature, where, I do most of my contemplation time either in the morning, right, where I'm awake, sort of awake, but I'm in that twilight zone, and I'll just tune in then. And what I believe is very helpful, and you don't hear it in all meditation because, it's quiet the mind, but what about the emotions? And I think the way to deal with these anxiety and, there are three, problem emotions, right? Normal problem emotions that pop up. There's fear, there's anger, and they're the hurts that come up that we think other people have done to us, right? So, psychotherapists everywhere look for those normal problem emotions. And what I believe is the helpful way out of that is to concentrate on a heart-opening kind of love without an object. It's called agape, but it's not a love. We've all experienced love for something in our lives, and we know what it feels like. But agape love is a state. It's an emotional state that has that vibration, but it has no object, right? It's a state of being, but it's our primary emotion. And I think anybody can prove to themselves, and I'm not inventing this. This is all in the human potential, 100 years of scholarship about what is helpful and what our experiences can be, especially spiritually. But if we just really intend to find that love space that's just the emotion of love, that's the interestingly the most powerful emotional state you can have, because all the other lower emotions just bounce off of that, and you have this peace that surpasses understanding, and you feel more centered and giving, no matter what the circumstances happen to be, right? And so that's, to me, the goal of meditation is to try to quiet the mind, but also so we can hear our intuitive intelligence, but also quiet the heart so we can open up to this, our birthright, which is a strong, really even creatively powerful and giving agape emotion that we hold and try to live out as much as we can.
I think I'm going to release a series of videos on the new version of meditation, right? and it's this. Put your phone down. Right? Do that for 20 minutes. Can you do it? Put the phone down for 20 minutes. Right? That's my new meditation. And it's as sarcastic as that may be. Right? I'm right, James.
Yeah. Well, you have to do that. But look, you make time for the phone, make time for meditation. Get up 15 minutes earlier. Do it right there in the bed before you jump out.
Well, you know how many people? How many people get up, literally get out of bed, put their feet on the floor, and pick up their phone right there on the nightstand, right immediately, and start their day, and it continues.
Start checking Twitter. Well,
put the phone down. Put the phone down.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah,
I think that's sound advice. And then, go further. Look, it's breakout time. If you're a baby boomer, and you feel like, hey, I'm starting to get on up there. I better, if I want to leave the future generations with something good, I better get at it. Or if you're a millennial where you're at 38 to 40 and you're going, okay, I got kids, I had a job, maybe I can get another one. But isn't there something more? That's what every generation says when they cross 40. It's like, is this all there is? Surely there's more inspiration I can find for my life. And the fact is, yes, they can. And that's why, people break, start new businesses, do all these creative projects as they enter their 40s. So, we know the kind of life cycles, and the more we jump on this, because this is a time for everyone virtually to really think about tuning in to their intuitive intelligence, realize that you get help intuitively, call that old friend, have a synchronicity, walk to the library, even if, you have to distance when you get there, and find a book that magically speaks to the next chapter of your life. These are the mysterious coincidences that the world is designed for us to have. And there's scholarship, there's science. You're not just having to count on religions to tell you this. This is human potential science out there calling us to this transcendent space that we can find in this life. And but we have to intend it. We have to want it. We have to ask the question, where's my synchronicity? Where's my tiny miracle that helps me solve this problem that I'm dealing with right now?
How do we I feel like I just cut you off, but I'm going to continue anyway.
No.
I'm going to continue anyway, James.
Until you interrupt me.
Is how I hear over and over again in direct conversations. I'm not talking about something I heard or something that I read. Direct conversations of I've lost friends. I've lost friends over this negativity. I've lost family members. I don't know what is going. How do we get them back into our lives? But then also, how do we do the opposite? How do we cut ties with negative friends or influences that are holding us back?
Well, you just make a decision to include everybody. We can be a positive influence. It would come back to the old friends, with a positive influence on them rather than the other way around. But I think we have to find this kind of transcendent space in our lives and hold that. And, there's all these experiences enhance the degree of help we get in life, I can, in my books, I try to talk about 12 of these experiences that we can move into in life. And once you've sort of looked at the power of intention, to just name one, once you look at the power of intention, if you just set faithful intentions, and what that means is that you set intentions with a kind of gratitude that this what you want is going to manifest. And the good thing to do with that is to say that or something better, right? You don't want to hold your miracle down or anything, but just start to intend things, intend that you get inspired to read something, or intend to put your phone down and just listen to your intuitive thoughts, or meditate for just every day at some point. People walk, do it while you walk. Don't listen to music. Don't, listen to your own music inside you as you sort of let go and tune in and find this transcendent space. Now, what people, what holds us all back really is thinking, well, why can't I find that why can't it just happen to me? Why do I have to, if it was there, it would just happen to me. Well, you have to ask, ask and you shall receive. This is not just Sunday school. This is metaphysics in terms of how this world really works. And we have to join in with our intention, and then more and more synchronicity happens. Life is not supposed to be so hard, and we're learning that. I mean, this is what we're facing now is a kind of laboratory for us all to experiment with this. But it's, what we can prove to ourselves is that spirituality is real. There is this creative force within us. I call it intuitive intelligence that guides us. And you can doubt all you want, but if you just give it an ounce of affirmation, then what happens is that you'll hear a hunch, you'll feel this gut feeling, you act on it, and then a synchronicity occurs that helps you solve the most pressing problem in your life. And you go, okay, the universe is designed for me to get help if I quit letting my ego, try to run things. And you go and you make peace with the ego, and you go into listening for your intuitive intelligence and following that. It's trial and error. Yeah. I'd like to just challenge people about it.
Now, why is it, and don't laugh, but why is it so hard to do the right thing? Right? Why? You see, now you're laughing. Why is it so hard? I mean, doing the wrong thing is easy, man. We can do that all day long with no effort. But doing the right thing,
the wrong thing is what the ego uses to calm its nerves, right? Our egos, that we pick out certain things that preoccupy us, where we can lose ourselves and forget about our troubles. And, some of those habits can be very self-destructive. But, it's where does that go? That goes nowhere. That's just going around in circles. And then finally, the ego, something happens like this pandemic, and suddenly all our distractions and preoccupations that our ego used to sort of keep us from thinking about the enormity of life, and we're left with staring at the wall and at ourselves in the mirror. So this is the time to do it, and again, the level of consciousness in the world is high enough now, in my view, that that it's easier than ever before to start a meditative practice, start to tune in, start to make intentions, start to get your karma right. So that means giving up the stuff absolutely that hurts others. And hurting yourself is also bad karma. But if you're manipulating, or somehow, anytime you manipulate or take from another person, the karmic response to that is you draw in people that do the same thing to you, or something similar. In other words, your synchronicity goes away, or slows way down. Never stops, but slows way down. But if you're a giver, you make sure you're trying to help people, you share the way you solved a problem in your life, and you work it into the conversation maybe because you intuit that person needs to hear it. And then you do it, working in the conversation, and the person says, "Oh, you know, I needed to hear this. That's exactly what I needed to hear at this time in my life." You know, that's people already do it, right? That's why we share with people. Now, we have to at least lift the mask up enough to talk to people at a distance. You know, we can't. I mean, I see people driving around with a mask on in the car. I don't understand that. You know, I mean, that's not a mandate from any state I know. Maybe it is. I just don't know it. But it's, you know, it's just helping our egos hide, I guess. You know. But
there's another, and to your point, before we get to the break here. To your point, the emotions are high, consciousness is high, and it's also an opportunity for negative things to have an effect too, right? And I really feel that some of the negativity and the divide, not only on social media but through media and out on the streets, is because there are forces out there that recognize the opportunity. And we have to use discernment in these situations more than ever, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, it all of our emotions have to be seen too. I mean, this is 2020, and if anybody is interested in astrology out there, I think Joseph P. Anthony hits it really well. He's an astrologer. I mean, and he, you know, that it's. You know, if you know astrology just an inch, you know that it's so incredibly accurate about personality and about time periods. So, you know, it's this whole craziness of 2020 was predicted decades ago by astrologers, and it's pretty interesting to see. Because what you see in astrology is how long it's going to last, right? So this year is a kind of explosion point, and every negativity in ourselves, all these out of control emotions, and all the spewing we're doing to each other, at each other, and political divides, and hate, just pure hate that comes out of people when they feel vulnerable out there. And so it all has to be seen by each of us as individuals, about ourselves, and about the structure of society, and who's running the show, and why there's so much corruption behind the scenes, and why is there so, even in politics, all the corruption that has happened. You know, it's got to be seen, and everyone has to come to grips with it, so that we can take a positive timeline and see ourselves together marching out of it in a positive way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. We need to take our break right here. This is Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, James Redfield. We're going to continue this conversation. We need to be positive in this negative world. More with James after this short break. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal God on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Why is it we're not very good with our health regimen until it's too late? We don't put oil in the car until the engine blows up. When the body's out of balance, your health is not so good. Give your body some love. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheT.com. Try our Life Change Tea, which cleanses you from harmful intruders. A clean colon is one of the ways to bring the body in balance. We also carry organic supplements to help you get where you need to go. So do your body a favor. Log on to GetTheT.com. That's GetTheTea.com. You can even visit our sales page to save some dough. Does anybody call money dough anymore? Anyway, if you're looking for short, helpful health tips, go to YouTube and punch in Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. So, log on to getthetea.com, shop, get balanced, then learn some cool tips at Health Matters Now. You'll be glad you did. That's getthetea.com.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon Coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend. Let's face it, you've always wanted to do a sky watch and see your first UFO. Today, it's easy. Just get your own HP7 3B Cobalt Jimmy Church Edition night vision goggles from Hoffman's Optics. This is the same U.S. military system that I use, featuring a Generation 3 blue phosphor image tube. That's right, it's blue, not black and green. This is the only blue system in the world, and it's waterproof, lightweight, combat-proven, simple to use, and ready to go. Hoffman's Optics helped create night vision sky watches, and now you can see what everyone has been talking about each night from your own backyard. Just call 760-231-9929. That's 760-231-9929. You can click on the banners on our site or visit UFOnightvisiongoggles.com. That's UFOnightvisiongoggles.com. Go back, Lee Tepe.
This is the only way forward.
This is Fade to Black. Make contact. KGRAradio.com.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard. Available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
Telepath is a weekly digital newsletter filled with the latest paranormal news, trending topics, and fresh articles from some of the most popular critical thinkers in the community today. Stay informed on your favorite paranormal podcasts and live streaming talk shows. Interact with the Telepath and upload your paranormal story or pics. It could be featured in an upcoming edition. Sign up right now for the free Telepath newsletter at paranormal.radio. That's paranormal.radio.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why fade to black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. Our guest tonight, James Redfield, of course, the author of the Celestine Prophecy and the series of books. And you can visit CelestineVision.com. The links are over at JimmyChurchRadio.com and stay current with all things James Redfield. But, James, I need your help. Okay, this is where I need your help. And don't laugh. Please don't laugh. Yesterday, I had a luncheon meeting. I got to sit with friends for the first time in a long time and discussing things. There was some business, but we hadn't seen each other in a long time.
And I brought up this question to the table, to everybody there. I said, hey, is anybody having problems with their memory? And everybody started laughing. They were saying, I can't remember anything. Right? I can't remember anything. It's bizarre. And I think that's one of the effects of this lockdown is our brain isn't getting exercised anymore. I want to ask you directly, are you having issues with your memory?
Well, not on the things that I'm concentrating on, but sometimes I think in a stressful environment, and with so many. First of all, we're clairvoyant to each other. In other words, humans all together. It's a force. Again, Star Wars mythology, but there's the force. It's all of consciousness together. We're telepathic to each other. And what happens when there's so much fear, in my view, is that we're the brain orientation that gets into a flow of routine and enjoys sequencing of events and all those pleasure centers, and it all maps out and we can remember it easily, get shut down. So what happens is that the stress of it is, it makes you, because everything's so new, you're reflecting on everything. Oh, is that good or bad news or bad news? Is my side winning or is it not winning? And there's stress and, who won the day? I think it's stress, in other words. It keeps us from getting a flow of life. And I'm sure that, if you want to say this, there's this dark side of fear that wants control of everybody. It's coming from there. If the more we can be thrown into fear, the more we're not thinking for ourselves and not in our own path that builds memories naturally. So that's the way I would talk about it. I think it's just fear and stress.
Well, how do we get it back? Let me. I am going to. I'm going to hold this up to the camera, and you can see that I wrote memory. I'm showing this to everybody. I wrote memory right before we took the break. Right, that I wanted to bring this up when I came back after the break with you. So I get up, I walk out. I got a little, walked out of the studio, got some coffee, chatted with Rita down the hall for a second, came back into the studio, and I stood here and went, now, what was I going to talk about with James after the break, right? And I'm standing here thinking about, I forgot what I was going to talk about, and it was important to me. I had forgotten about it. I sat down, and I look at my notes. I forgot about that. I wanted to talk about memory loss. I just like, man, this is exactly the situation, and I can't explain it. How do we get it back, right? If it's fear, and if our brain is being preoccupied and is not making the connections that it needs to do, that exercise. But I get all of that, but how do we get it back? What can we do?
Well, I think it's back to practicing, a stronger, more centered love emotion as our primary emotion. And again, it's that centering in one story unfolding. What I'm trying to paint a picture of synchronistic flow that is our birthright here.
Mm-hmm.
And what we we have to not think of it, this is just ordinary life and it means nothing. What am I going to, when is the next mysterious coincidence going to solve one of my problems in the next, on this journey that I'm on, And what happens is that people start on that journey. You're centered into your journey, and the more we can make it have a love-based and a giving effort, the more we center into that journey, and we're it builds on itself, and it's we all our biography is more mysterious than we think it is. And once we start to say, okay, I want to flow toward this project. I got this project in the back of my mind. How do I get that going? Well, as soon as you ask that question, something happens to help you get organized. And rather than to say, well, that was lucky, you say that was a kind of helping guidance from whatever this spiritual connection is that we all can prove to ourselves is real on this planet.
Yeah, that's one of the best points right there. There are people listening right now. I think most of this audience is pretty in tune, but there are people that are listening right now that don't get it. Right? That what proof do they need? Right? And that's what they're always blind to. These opportunities, these synchronicities are all around them all day long. They don't have a clue, right? What is it that something that somebody can see that they can act upon, right? And it's all simple, right?
Okay, here's one. Imagine what your most ideal space, what you want to be doing 6 months from now. What do you want your life to move into? You want to just do day by day and have as much fun as you can on the side and fight off all these negative emotions when they come up and go around in circles in relationships. That's fine. That's life in the materialistic world. That's all you get. But if you want to,
right,
or move, let yourself flow towards something, and ask for, and imagine and be mindful of what these everything can be a synchronicity. The people you drive by, what's that about? You're driving along the freeway. Is that just pure chance, or is everybody kind of orbiting each other so that you can have a conversation at the next service station? It is it's seeing life as a kind of mysterious unfolding that Carl Jung was talking about when he talked about this principle of synchronicity in the world. This is probably the most impactful psychologist in the history of science. Talking about this mysterious force in the world that is there to help us if we'll just pay attention long enough. And again, there's a kind of positive thinking attitude there. If you're thinking everything's going to go wrong, that's a wrong kind of, that's an erroneous intention to set. So that's some is self-awareness. What's your ego habits, and you have to become aware a little bit of how you defeat yourself, or how these, you create the same experiences over and over again in your life. But it's really just seeking a kind of transcendence that you can connect with, and you have a little faith that you're going to get helped in life if you just let go of the ego habits just a little bit. Don't just say, I'm not gonna do what I do to distract myself for a little while. I'm going to just try to be really alert to the mysteries of life. And I think that's what and sometimes it takes a slap in the face, a whack with a 2x4 of fate. And that's why I'm saying that this shutdown, is not going to stand. It will be ruled unconstitutional if the judiciary does its job. It's clearly unconstitutional. You cannot shut everybody down from the freedom to make a living. You be as safe as you can, but it was never done before because they would never have tried it before. They would never have. It's just that these three generations are at a weak point, and they really saw the chance that we would all fall for it. So I say that, and these are just my opinions, and I don't want to, but in the whole psycho structure of what's happening, it's just unbelievable that it's been allowed to happen. I think people are going to react to it. People are going to just completely resist.
Well,
now.
Isn't
this was just not going to work.
That's right. And so is this part of a cycle where we have now gone down as far as we can go, right? That in the next couple of years, certainly through what the astrological side of this is saying, with Jupiter being at its lowest point, and in a few months it's going to be out of that cycle. It is timing with where we are now that there is nowhere to go but up, right? Won't that contribute to a positive vibe that everything is going to go? We don't have a choice, right? We can't get any lower.
Well, not if everybody really starts to tell the truth. When you're surrounded by lies, just tell the truth. And when people get angry at whatever truth you're telling, if you think it's the truth, tell the truth. And people get angry, and you say, "Well, didn't mean to make you angry. So sorry," but that's my truth. And now the pendulum has swung to saying, wait a minute, what in the world is happening here, and why are we going along with it? And that just takes, and the thing that has to happen though is that we stay positive. We stay in this the love and helping kind of timeline. And I want to always come back to this because that's the timeline where solutions come and the truth prevails, no matter what it turns out to be. The truth prevails because everybody's looking for the truth and telling it to others, and not being intimidated by people that are real angry on whatever side we're facing. Because if all of us just concentrate on what the truth we can find about it all, and say truth others positively, then what happens is that is the road upward,
Well,
out of this.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The truth will prevail.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the economy, once it starts shifting into another gear and we get through whatever we're going through now, there's going to be a genuine happiness as everything starts to rocket up. But I wanted to ask you this, and again, don't give me the James Redfield laughter after this question. But so many out there are hoping for the media to change, right? That the media is suddenly going to be honest, right? that there's going to be this shift and they're going to start to accept their responsibility in a lot of this negativity around the world. You can't depend on that, can you? Do you expect the media suddenly to be honest?
Yeah, I've changed media sources completely. So I think we reward the media sources that seem more like truth by viewing them, and the others can just fade away on this timeline, right? We're on a truth-telling timeline, and I think we just vote with our channel clicker, and just give up on the ones that are manipulative, and go with. Man, there's a whole new alternative media springing up on the internet, and it can't be contained. It can't be squelched completely, because you pop up, you squelch one place, you pop up somewhere else. So I'm trying to reward those people that I think are really searching for the truth of this and the way out. We have to demand the rights that we grew up with.
What I find funny is that so many, and we're talking about billions here. I'm not talking about a small group of people. That billions of people now accept analysis or opinion as the news, right? News is facts, right? Give me the numbers, give me the facts, report the event, but don't give me your analysis of the event or your opinion of the event, because that's not news. And somehow billions of people on this planet have accepted that. We've had this shift change, and that's a big part of negativity in this world today.
Yeah, I agree. There's it's our human nature. We can't believe that people can lie with that straight a face. I mean, it's just very, very difficult. But the more conscious we can become, the more we'll know that, hey, I'm being told a lie, instead of, when they're not giving you any proof, they're just giving you an opinion as though, well, everybody knows this is true. you know that something is wrong. And so that's the wake up call. And again, I see more people every day come into the understanding that, hey, we're being manipulated, and for reasons that we're only now beginning to see, and that will be revealed. But I think if we're going to live in a space where we're finding a transcendent place, and these synchronicities are helping us along in life, and we get there, then we have to be oriented toward the truth, and that's the timeline. That's and inner peace is what sustains that while we're breaking out, so to speak.
Now, 2021 can't get here fast enough. What's your agenda for 2021, and what are you going to be working on?
Well, I have a book coming out about this time next year. So I'm excited about that. And, on the website, we put together an internet community because I'm very, very convinced that we have to create community consciously now. It doesn't just happen with neighbors and neighborhoods because we're so isolated. So there's a place for internet community because you get to discuss the things you're interested in. So we're discussing this whole amazing revelation that's happening, in my view, where we're finding the proof that we really live in this kind of spiritual world that we think is just dead matter and where nothing's going on. And so yeah, but we're proving to ourselves that there's an operating system for this planet, and it's a spiritual one. And we just have to be in alignment with how this design is. And so, and it's all about giving. It's all about finding the calling that we come here with, that we want a truth we want to tell. And I call that inspiration energy. That's what propels us into a kind of unique journey where we're trying to clarify what that is. So communities talking about that, are beneficial. That's where synchronicity happens. So that we've tried to design a Celestine Prophecy community as we all pursue this inspiration energy towards something that we're seeking to manifest in the world. Some of it's just problem solving at first, but then it's, I've got something to say, some area of life I want to wind up in, something that I want to create, or something that, it's in your soul. We come here with it, in my view. So talking about that is really important. And right now I've got a course on the whole, 12 insights of the books happening right now. So that's really turning me on, because I'm with people that, like to talk about that, like to live on the inspired side of life.
I can't wait for 2021. New Year's 2020 is going to be glorious. I mean, I think we'll still be digging out. But, yeah, we are, but we need, it's so funny because New Year's Eve 2019 and the sound of 2020 was so cool. God, it's going to be great, man. What a great, this is going to be. And right. Well, 2021 is going to be amazing. And I just can't wait. And then shortly after that, you and I are going to get a chance to hang out too as well. And I look forward to seeing you again. But thank you so much. What a great conversation tonight, James. I needed this. The audience needed this. I feel a bit more grounded. Thank you so much, my friend.
Well, my pleasure. Yeah, the light side, that timeline is what keeps us inspired, I think.
That's exactly right. James Redfield, you're the very best. We'll circle back in a couple of days and have a conversation. But until then, enjoy your Thanksgiving and have a great week.
Thank you. You too, Jimmy. Always enjoyable.
The best, James Redfield. And CelestineVision.com is the website that James was just talking about, and you can get straight right there by clicking over on the links over at JimmyChurchRadio.com. All right, I'm going to take a quick break right here in the bunker, and I'll open up the phone lines, and we'll have some chats with everybody. James, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
Here, and you are listening to my boy Jimmy Church on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter,
but listening to Jimmy Church will.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker.
Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black Blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hello, my name is Billy Carson, and I am a best-selling author and the founder of ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Together with my team, we have built an all-new conscious streaming TV platform designed with every family member in mind. If you have ever wanted to travel the world and attend lectures and workshops from your favorite speakers but weren't able to, look no further. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. There are dozens of workshops and lectures from speakers you know and love. We have also included amazing categories to assure that your consciousness is entertained and elevating on a daily basis. Amazing interviews, ancient history, ascension knowledge, wisdom teachings, documentaries, conspiracies, mysteries, health and fitness, conscious cooking, meditations, finance, yoga, and so much more. To start your free trial on any mobile device or computer, surf to ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. That's Forbidden Knowledge with the number 4, ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Again, visit ForbiddenKnowledge.tv today.
The older we get, the more important it is to stay active and healthy. I exercise regularly, eat right, but recently some new aches and pains have really put a cramp in my routine. A good friend recently told me about Angioprim. She said Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement, helping people since 2003. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, calcium, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages and lead to unexplained pain. Research shows the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that may help promote good cardiovascular health. After a few weeks of taking Angioprim, my pain was gone. Now I'm back and more physically active than ever. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com, ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim right now, 954-882-7221. That's 954-882-7221.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What a great conversation. It doesn't get any better than that. James Redfield. And, 747-228-2051. 747-228-2051. I've got a bunch of calls on hold. Lines are open. One of the points that I have made, and I really mean this, is my barometer is who I interact with out there. And for me to, drive to Long Beach yesterday in a great mood, and I'm serious, a great day, open road, and driving, and that moment of solitude and things. But I was just in a great mood. When you can walk into an empty Starbucks like that, and deal with an employee and have a conversation that it's just out of nowhere. I didn't incite any of this. My point was, hey, I don't have money for a tip. Can I do it on a credit? And to have that just go into this, hey, I'm in a great mood. It's all good. Life is changing. The world is changing. Finally, I see light at the end of the tunnel, and just happy, and I think that is starting to go on. I really do. And to hear from James, some of the catalyst for this, I can't agree. I can't agree with him more. We have never been so conscious anywhere in our history right now on this planet. And if we can turn the time units backwards a little bit, back into March and April of this year, when I was saying then that this is an opportunity right here, because eventually we're going to be at the end of this, and it's not going to be good. We're not going to be in a good place for a lot of different reasons. And, excuse me, cough button. If we go back to the timeline, and it was protests, and it was George Floyd, and a lot of incidents that were happening, and we had Seattle, and we had Portland, and Minneapolis, and Los Angeles, and the crazy things that were going on in Chicago and New York. It was everywhere. That it wasn't just coronavirus. It wasn't just the lockdown. It wasn't just the economy. It was politics and racism and things that all happened at the same time. And I had said then, once we get to the end of this, once we get there, this is our opportunity to start over for so many different reasons. And I saw it. We didn't have any choice in the matter. I remember going back, the way that I was handling the news back then was I was reporting these different situations with different countries and companies and things and airlines and shutdowns and layoffs and the cruise industry and oil and all of it. It was a crazy amount of negative headlines, but it was my way of projecting back then. Look, this is where we are, right? This is where we are. It can only go up from here. And when we get to the back end of this, I don't know when it's going to be, but I said then, it's going to be a year from now. It's going to be a year. There's no way that we can just magically come out of this tomorrow and it's all going to be right. No. So here we are. We're heading into Thanksgiving. We are at the third week of November. December is here. That's it. December 31st, New Year's Eve, and we are heading into 2021. There is nothing but positivity in front of us. That's it. And I can see it and feel it from everybody around me. All right. With that, 747-228-2051. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, how you doing, Jimmy? This is David and Lori from Lakeland, Georgia.
And how are you?
I'm good. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family and to all the listeners.
Yeah, right on. And I take it you guys are getting ready for Thanksgiving?
Oh, my gosh, yes. Absolutely. I'm going to be cooking for days until, absolutely. Me and my mom and my wife, we always did that. We would get up real early and cook the night before all the way through the day, you know.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys...
But, yeah, I was...
Well, okay, you called me. What's on your mind?
Oh, no. I was saying I was the guy that called a while back, and you showed us all your guitars and everything. Okay. I don't know if you remember me at all.
That's never happened on this show. I'm joking, so David. Cool. I'm joking, David. I'm joking.
I love you so much.
All right, man. So,
but I was thinking, like, what your opinion on deja vu and like our dreams and stuff, like if we have repeated dreams and whatnot, like what you think about that? What you think that means, like with deja vu and whatnot?
Well, that's actually a great question, and I enjoy talking about deja vu a lot because I enjoy deja vu, right?
Yes, sir.
When it happens, I write it out, I have fun with it, and I capture the experience. I dig it.
Right.
But ever since I was a little kid, when deja vus would happen to me, I started, and I'm talking about 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Right.
I was saying then, it sounded like I was a talk show host, but I was saying then, I'm like, man, somebody's read my book. Somebody knows, right? Somebody knows all about me. Somebody from the future has read my book. And there's
my God,
right?
That's so true.
Yeah, there's some time travel thing going on. And I would talk like this when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. But I have never stopped that frame of mind with it. There's a big mystery out there when it comes to deja vu. I don't want to hear from any skeptic or whatever. It's just, it's just your memory. It's just, you're expecting, what? And save all that. This is cool.
Yeah.
There's something deeper to it, and I don't know what it is.
Right. Yeah, it's something that's like either it's like that realm that we're supposed to get information from or whatnot. I don't know, but what you said is perfect. Like what happens to me ever since I was a kid, it would happen, and like how you're talking about, you'd write it down and whatnot to, like I've had times where I've had thoughts and ideas and stuff, and then literally it would happen, or I would see it on TV. I'm like, oh my God, I was just thinking about it, talking like a year later or a day later, and it always captured me. How you put it was perfect, Jimmy. I love it. I love it.
Rita, last week, she walked into the bedroom, right? I'm in the middle of a deja vu. She starts to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I put up my hand. I'm in the middle of a deja vu. Just let me write this out, right? But see, this is the thing. It's one thing about a deja vu that you're just going, but it's another type of deja vu when you're so cognizant, you're so in the moment, when you go, okay, now I know exactly what this guy's about to say. He's about to say blah, 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 blah. And then you just sit, and then dude says blah, 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 blah. Right.
Yeah.
And I dig it. That is not some kind of brain trick. This isn't some kind of imaginary instance where we think this is what is going on. No. Deja vu is real. I just don't know what it is. And that's one of the big mysteries. Now, you brought up something else about dreams. What was it?
Yes, sir. And also, like, dreams, like, it's like, hold on, let me see, I wrote it. Basically, when we dream and have feelings and thoughts about stuff, that, like does it interact with like a double dream or something like that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to think about it, how I said it. Like if I dream about something like when I was a kid, and then I would dream about it like 10 years later, the exact same dream.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was like a warning, or like how you're talking about, like an information highway from somewhere other realm, or from something else that we are not allowed to know, but are able to get bits of information to know because we're not either. I don't know how to really say it, Jim. I don't know how to put it, but it's pretty much like that. Like it would happen to me. I'd dream of stuff when I was a kid, and then I would 10, 15 years later, I would have the same exact dream. And then the actual event would happen to me, after that dream I had years later,
Right. And I think dreams are individual. Like your situation is you. Sir. I was just listening to a dream show yesterday in talk radio when I was coming back.
Right.
And everything that they were talking about in this, with different callers were calling in talking about their dreams, and the host was interpreting things and discussing it. Everything that they talked about had nothing to do with me and my dreams. I didn't relate to any of it. And my dreams have always been repetitive. And also I talked about this a lot. I have the ability to, before it's lucid dreaming, whatever you want to call it, But before I go to sleep, if there's a specific dream I want to go into, I do it. But this is something that I find interesting. I used to, for years and years and years and years, I would dream about my mom. I would dream about my mom. Since she has passed, zero.
Yeah.
Zero. I don't dream about her at all. Right? And I can't figure this one out. I used to have some really bizarre, cool dreams about my mom. They don't happen anymore. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. Again, it's all individual, right?
Right.
Yeah, I was listening to this doctor interpreting dreams yesterday, and this lady said, you know, I would go into this big mansion, and I would walk my way through, and then I'll always end up in the basement. And so this doctor, I don't want to see who it was, but she goes, that's because this is a Carl Jung thing, that the basement represents your subconscious, and you're going into the basement because you are trying to discover things about yourself that you won't admit to. And I'm listening to that, I'm like, come on. Now that's a load. That's a load of BS. Right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like they're trying to just say something just to throw it there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Right, and that lady that is listening to this is like taking it serious. Oh man, okay, this is my subconscious. I'm denying myself. I'm not, no, you can't do a diagnosis like that over the phone.
Right.
And I, like I said, I couldn't relate to any of it. Well, listen, give my best to Lori. You guys have a great, fun, amazing Thanksgiving. Do everything. Yeah, eat too much. You got to do that. One quick question about Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
When your plate is in front of you, and then you've got the bowl of gravy, do you gravyize everything on the whole plate?
Oh, my God, Jimmy, I will put gravy on everything.
Yeah.
I'll even put gravy in my River Moon coffee.
Man, yeah, I would do that too. What is it about gravy and cranberry sauce? Man, it's the best, man. I mix it together. I'll stir it up. David, have a great day. Have a great Thanksgiving. My best to Lori, your mom, and the family, and you guys go have a great time. Thank you so much.
So much appreciated. Thank you, and thank you to all your viewers.
You're the best.
Listeners. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, David.
Bye.
And, man, I gravyize everything. I can't stress that enough. And I know I make fun of this every Thanksgiving when we're talking about this, but that's it. It's of course the turkey, but it's the mashed potatoes. Of course, those get gravyiized, but the stuffing gets gravyiized. The cranberry sauce gets gravyiized. The corn gets gravyiized. Whatever the veggies are, they get. So yeah, I ladle gravy on the entire plate, and then black pepper. Let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, this is Dave in South L.A.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Calling up to cause trouble. After a show like this, I got David.
I was actually, I was actually planning on agreeing with most points there, up in the 99th percentile. And I did appreciate the show, very much so. And it tied in well with the intro that you gave there. And just two topics that dropped on me recently, kind of out of my meditation and nature experiences. One was on the nature of hope, which apparently is indispensable at this time.
Yep.
But what you put your hope, base it on, if it's not in accordance with reality, and if it's not for the highest good of everybody around us, yourself and the world around you, then it's not exactly going to fly. Now, there are people who are putting hope on political outcomes. There are people, I'm a Zappocrat, so, it doesn't matter who gets elected. I'm still not buying into the, military, the politics is the entertainment branch of the military-industrial complex.
Mhm.
That's my basic philosophy.
That's a good philosophy.
So
Yeah, that's a good philosophy.
yeah.
Let me ask you this. Hope is key, right? Everybody,
Yes, it is.
you take away hope and then screw it.
Indispensable.
Let's just burn this thing down, man. Let's just right. Okay, so, but I think what everybody needs to have, because I need this, I need to have some semblance of. I don't need it perfect, but I need to know that the future is somewhat organized. Right? I don't want to have chaos in front of me.
We could put hope in something that we know will return.
Right. Whatever it is.
That is the important thing, because if I'm basing it on a politician's promise or something I see on the news or a scientific breakthrough, it's not going to be enough to sustain me, because these are eternal truths that we're trying to center our lives on. And, the show, part of the show tonight was like focusing, what do we have in common as human beings on this planet? How can we help each other? That's the question. And how are we going to get through this all together? So, for instance, one eternal, like, there are virtues. You don't have to be a theist to ascribe to these human characteristics. And one of the things that I see, beauty. Now, that was another thing that touched on me. My inner Californian is not digging the whole winter thing. I just spent time in the Adirondacks, 10, 15 degrees outside. But the message that was imprinted on me, that got dropped to me was beauty, because all of a sudden I looked around at my surroundings, and, the entire floor of the woods I'd been walking in was just all covered in a blanket of gold. And to appreciate the beauty of that moment. So she was saying to me, look for, there's beauty in every moment that you exist. You just have to look for it. And when you look for it, you'll find me. I'll be there. And that source of power and that conduit to whatever it is in the human experience is available to you. That's one example, and not the only example that people have to, abide by or find for themselves.
Right.
Find it for themselves. That's the whole thing. Look for it, find it.
Well, and there's, and I know that I was kind of making fun of this, but I wasn't. A source of meditation for people that don't want to meditate or don't even care, right? They don't want to. You know what? I'm not joking about this. 20 minutes, no cell phone. Just put it down, right? Just clear your mind. As simple as that.
It's also very applicable to the Gurdjieffian in the Gurdjieff work. What they do is they do a lot of examine how your mechanical or your nature of automatic reaction engages itself. So by changing something from take a walk and leave your cell phone at home and see what your mind does.
Fight it, man. Fight the power. And see, the thing is, there's another point. I was making fun of dolphins and, dolphin music and sitar. But I can, and I do this all the time, I will sit in the bunker. I'm alone, right? I'll sit in the bunker. I'm working, but I'll take a break. I'll put on my headphones. Sometimes I'll do it with the speakers cranked because I have a nice sound system in here. But sit with my headphones on and blast through an album, right? Whatever it is. It could be Van Halen. It could be Black Sabbath. It could be Jeff Beck, Steve Vai, whatever. It's not soft, right? I'm not listening to the Carpenters, but get into the zen of the moment where I'm not polluted with my environment. Just like you just said, right? You're walking through you don't need, just leave your cell phone at home, but disconnect. Let your brain, and you can come out of the other side of that, 30, 45 minutes of an album. and come out with a clear head. Clear head. You did not engage in your reality or the man's reality, right? Am I making sense?
Oh, most definitely. Anything to alter your brain waves and your mind state for an extended period of time is going to benefit you. When you took that break a month or so back, I made the most of the time to like double up on my meditation. And I really benefited from it. I can definitely see what, your guest tonight was getting at. I used to meditate on subway platforms in LA or on the bus, people screaming, yelling all around me, but you can do it. You can. You don't have to be like on a mountaintop. You can be in the middle of, I wouldn't advise it driving, but, in the middle of traffic or in the middle of, anywhere you're going around. There's a Tibetan form of meditation that involves walking a labyrinth. You can do that, I do it, whenever I can.
I tell you, when you mentioned that escape that I did a few months ago, and when I did that, I was on these long stretches of open highway, right? And I'm telling you right now, don't laugh. Elvis radio on Sirius XM, right, man? I would let that baby
all right.
I'd let that baby rip for 2 hours and not say a thing, right? I'm not on the phone. I'm not on the internet. I'm just driving and zenning out to Elvis radio. It was incredible, man. It was absolutely
I am a believer.
Hey, man, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? So you're not in L.A.? You're still up in the
LA,
Great White North?
I'm here. Yeah, so I'm on the East Coast, so I'll be doing that thing with them, just a couple members of family here.
Uh-huh.
So that's all good. And we got, my sister is an excellent chef, so we're covered in that department. So we're not just dependent on me.
Right on. Well, listen, man, give my best to the family. Enjoy your Thanksgiving week. And tomorrow we'll do an AMA. You can jump in on that. But we'll see you. Just have a great, safe Thanksgiving week, and we'll see you next Monday. Thank you so much, Dave.
All right. Thanks. Best to you and to Rita. Great googly moogly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dave. Have a great week. And with that, and I've got calls on hold, but that's the way it goes. We are at the end of the night. James Redfield, absolutely incredible. And CelestineVision.com, and the links are over at JimmyChurchRadio.com. So tomorrow night is our AMA. We're going to do this on YouTube. So you know how to find our YouTube channel. We've got the links up to it throughout social media. If you're on Twitter, go to YouTube. Right? Wherever you are, Facebook, go to YouTube. Wherever you are, go to YouTube. Post your AMA questions there, and we'll have a great time tomorrow night. All right? What's the worst can happen? Fade to Black's executive producers, Rita Camurian. Shows produced by Hill J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Kevin. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2020 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll see everybody tomorrow night for the AMA. Until then, be safe. Fade to Black.